Hello and welcome to Most Haunted Live. It is Leap Weekend and we are here in Stratford upon Avon. Now we're standing outside the birthplace of William Shakespeare. It's going to be one hell of a night. Now of course we've got the usual crew with us. We've got Derek Acora and Phil Wyman. Derek, how are you going to feel about tonight? Do you think it's going to be a good night?
It's feeling spiritually charged.
Fantastic. Now why are we here in Stratford upon Avon, Phil?
Well, this is one of the most haunted places in England, and with all the recent activity we had to come down here.
So join us as we go on a hunt for the ghosts and loves of William Shakespeare.
Hello and welcome to this extra special Most Haunted Live on a Leap Day weekend. We are celebrating the fact that women can propose to men, and tonight we are looking for love because we are in Shakespeare's Stratford upon Avon. Yes, it is the home of romance, and of course Shakespeare wrote a lot about women. He enjoyed the festival of love, and packed in here 175 of our Most Haunted Live regulars. And tonight we are going to be on the trail of love because we will be celebrating the women in Shakespeare's life. We will be unearthing the ghosts that are said to haunt Stratford upon Avon, and hopefully we will be meeting the heroes and the heroines of the 16th century. Let me tell you, first of all, though, about New Year's Eve and the 3 days leading up to New Year's Eve. And I just want to say a really big thank you to all of you at home because the response was overwhelming. Just under 3 million people watched us. I can tell you 50,000 text messages, 12,000 calls, and thank you so much. This is the biggest ever show, and it's the first of its type anywhere in the world, and we're delighted that you've been part of it. But now back to tonight, because we are in Stratford, we are in the home of Shakespeare, and let's have a look at the geography. Okay, this is the map of Stratford. Here we go. Where I am is in the town hall, which is right in the middle. Now, tonight, we will be travelling around Stratford upon Avon, starting in Shakespeare's birthplace. We'll also be taking in the River Avon. We'll be then going to the Falstaff Experience, which is supposedly very haunted. New Place, the home of William Shakespeare. And then we will be travelling to Anne Hathaway's cottage. And of course, Anne Hathaway was the woman that William Shakespeare married. So we will be travelling across Stratford. Now, we will be sending our Most Haunted Live team, including Yvette Fielding, Derek Acora, Phil Wyman, and the rest of the team, and they are outside in the freezing cold. Let's say hello and good evening to them. Good evening to you guys.
Hi! Hi! Can you hear us? Hello, everybody in the audience! Hello! Can they hear us? Yes, they can. Oh, there they are. It's freezing again. You keep doing this to us. We're absolutely freezing. We've got a night ahead of us. We've got lots of haunted places to go to, and I'm terrified where you're going to end up sending us.
Well, for the moment, thank you to those guys, because we are going to be sending them around Stratford upon Avon. It's one of the most haunted towns in the United Kingdom, and this is its story.
At the northern tip of the Cotswold countryside lays a town unspoilt by time, and one that inspired the greatest love story ever told. Welcome to Stratford upon Avon, the home of poetry, romance and mystery. William Shakespeare was born in Stratford in 1558, where he was brought up, educated and married a woman from the nearby hamlet of Shottery. They had 3 children, Susanna, Judith and his only son Hamlet, who sadly died. It is thought that William took many mistresses, who in turn inspired some of the most prolific characters in Shakespearean literature.
Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Juliet and Ophelia may have been based on local women that Shakespeare knew.
Shakespeare would have drawn an awful lot on local folklore. He was magpie-like in what he collected, so various legends that he'd grown up with, the Warwickshire countryside, he knew it, all the local dialect nicknames, and these crop up time and time again in his plays, so certainly he would have drawn on local gossip, folklore, etc.
The places Shakespeare visited or owned litter the town. He bought one of the grandest houses in the area, New Place. This became the family home for many glorious years and was later inherited by his favourite daughter Susanna. Shakespeare died in 1616 and was buried in the Holy Trinity Church, where his tomb remains to this day. Stratford-upon-Avon now stands as a memorial to a life touched by love, filled with happiness and scarred by tragedy. Which of the inspirational souls immortalised by Shakespeare still walk the streets of this Warwickshire town? Are the tales of nearby Clopton House really linked to Shakespeare's Juliet? And is the ghostly tale of Ophelia more fact than fiction? So come take a walk with Most Haunted Live as we unearth the secrets of Shakespeare in love at Leap Day.
Hi, we're in the riverbank. Now, you may think, I wonder what she's doing, but I'm actually on this little boat and I'm going to start rowing it. I've got to do it all on my own. Now, some horrible things have happened on this riverbank. Bodies have been found in the water. Not very nice. Going all the way out on my own, I'm not particularly happy about it at all. Lots of ghosts have been seen on the water and walking on the towpaths as well. Okay, all right, I'm going to go out there. I'm not happy about this at all because you can probably see me, but I can't really see much at all. It's completely pitch black and I'm not happy. If anything comes anywhere near me, I am gonna bloody scream my head off. There's some swans over there, I can hear them. Okay, it's going out. I hope this thing don't get stuck.
Of course, this is a particularly, or supposedly particularly haunted location. It has a great history, and here's its story.
The River Avon is the heart of Stratford, holding many residents hostage to its unpredictable and sometimes mercenary water levels. It is on these fateful riverbanks Olive Bennett walked her last steps before being found strangled on the bed of the Avon, weighed down by a gravestone stolen from the Holy Trinity Church. Her killer has never been found. So what secrets lurk beneath these shallow waters, and who are the spirits seen walking the water's edge? Will the Most Haunted team unearth the truth behind one of Stratford's grisliest murders? Find out on Most Haunted Live.
So, what will we find on the banks of the River Avon? Let's go over and join Yvette now.
Okay, right. Now, as I go to Bennett.
You all right, Ed?
Yeah, right, as I'm going out now, Derek, I want you to see what you can pick up. I was out here earlier on my own,
yeah,
and it is not nice at all.
Yes. Well, the feelings that seem to be emitting here in this ether and the air, it's like a feeling, a great feeling of. I get anger. There's no two ways about that. It's coming from the ether, but it's like as if I get an individual. Hold on. I see a young lady, conditions of a young lady here, and I see, allow me to see, oh, okay, a young lady, and this young lady, I feel was, she was dumped here. She was dumped here.
Who was she?
Who was she, Sam? Who was she? Now, I don't know if it was actually here or further up in the water, but I can't, link in with the location. But I feel as if it gives me the name Alice.
Alice.
Alice. Alice. But what it's showing me is we're not here on the water. It's like as if I'm getting. I don't know what this means, Phil. It's like as if I'm on a. I'm being dumped. She's been dumped.
In the water?
In the water.
Right.
OK, thank you for the moment. Let's go over now to interactive to find out, because I know that the phones have been going mad. 08712 44 8804. 08712 44 8804. Julian, what's been going on?
Well, by 9:09, we'd had just about 100 sightings on the Nash's House webcam already, which is amazing. Craig Fraser here saw a dark shadow walking across the room. Julie Priest from Plymouth says on the webcam for Nash's House there's a male face that can be seen in the left-hand window looking sad. 2 other people sat with her in the room can see it as well. Gemma Wiley from Kings Lynn, I've just logged on to the Most Haunted website. As I did so, my lights flickered. When they stopped flickering, a blue candle fell into the fireplace and onto the floor. Poppy
Really?
yeah, isn't that amazing? Poppy from Beckenham says, I'm in the bath and listening to the show on the telly, and the lights are flickering in my house, so it's an extraordinary experience, she says. It's also my birthday, so happy birthday,
Happy birthday.
Poppy. Yeah, so we're having great response on the email, on the website at the moment on
Good.
that. Also, just to say, lots of sightings of men and women in the windows here, so we're working out whether it's more men sightings or female sightings, so I'll let you know.
Keep the good work up.
All right.
Keep your calls coming in. Keep texting us. And, of course, keep your eye on those webcams. Lots more coming up. Let's now go to the next of our locations. Now, the Falstaff Experience is now a museum. It's on the site of a very old house here in Stratford. It has a long and tortuous history. Here's the story.
Shreve's House is one of the oldest structures in Stratford-upon-Avon, having survived the Plague, Civil War, World War and 4 major fires. It is now a museum depicting the gruesome past of Stratford-upon-Avon. Elizabeth Rogers lived in the house from 1578 and her nephew is known to have been Shakespeare's godson. Her husband, William Rogers, is also thought to have inspired the character of Falstaff. Who are the spectral soldiers standing on the stairs? And who is the lonely French maid seen wandering the darkened corridors? And what was the spirit watched by more than a dozen visitors?
We're just inside the Falstaff Experience and just come through the door there. It's a very creepy place. There's things obviously here that, you know, is supposed to scare people, like heads sticking out of windows and things like that. And I can imagine that certain people would be very, very scared if they didn't know they were there. Now, these stairs as well, images have been seen of people standing on the stairs. Also, I know that people have been pushed, have been grabbed, and I think it's about sort of this stair here where some things have happened. It's quite cold in here. It's a constant temperature throughout, but there's cold spots have been reported in here as well. Poltergeist activity. So what the hell? What's happened to the light? What's happened to the light? What's happened to the light?
Torch.
I've got the torch. Why has the light gone off? Why is the light? Can you see me? Can you see me? Yes? Why has the light gone off? Is the battery all right?
It's a full battery, but it seems to be flat now.
Okay. We've lost power in the lights. Hi Derek. Hi Phil.
Hi, Evie.
Spooky play. We've had the batteries go down on the lights, so put the torches up to your face.
Okay.
All the batteries were charged when we got in here. Now they're completely gone dead.
Yes.
So when you come into this place,
Yes.
can you, in fact, if we walk forward and then get into an open space, then we've probably got a bit more room. Okay, we'll just go back a bit. Let's see. God, it's creepy in here. But there's audience members, if they're coming to spend the night in here, my God, they'll absolutely poo their pants. Right, Derek.
Yes.
Okay. Can you feel anything in here at all? Are you picking up anything?
Well, that stench, I'm getting a stench here. And that stench that's in the residual, that stench is most definitely rotten flesh. It's like the feeling of, I've had this before, and it's the same sort of stench. And it's like when a person, okay, and I'm getting a lot of souls here, okay, that link in. It's just a residual, it's not a spirit individual at this moment. But it's like the plague, you know, when people have gone down,
yeah.
And I feel a lot of people, and it's still in the residual energy. I'm also picking up an individual male here, who is not a good soul.
Oh, right.
He's not a good soul. Hold on.
What's the matter? You're all right.
Hold on.
You're all right. You're all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You're all right.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, and I'm also getting conditions of someone conjuring. It's in this atmosphere here as well. Conjuring something up, conjuring something up.
You mean witchcraft?
Yeah, without a doubt.
What? What the hell?
Sorry, guys.
Hey?
Something just hit the floor then. Something just landed
Was
on
your
the floor.
clipboard on
No,
the floor?
I put it down. I just put it down, but something landed heavy on the
heard
floor.
that, yes.
Behind,
Yeah?
behind you, I think it was.
Did anybody drop anything on the floor? There's no one behind
There's
you
a
there,
piece
Phil.
of there's a piece
Oh.
of coal on the floor there.
What?
Yeah, there.
No.
I heard that come just as you were talking.
What was it? This? I didn't. I thought you dropped your clipboard on
No,
the floor.
I
You see?
sort of bent down to put it on the floor.
Isn't that a bit? That's too heavy, isn't it?
No, that's exactly
No,
what
that's
it was.
sound.
You sure?
Exactly it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You can't see anyone. There we go. Sorry, we've got no lights because the battery's gone dead.
But that's exactly what it was.
So this person is not nice.
He's not a good soul, and I feel was most definitely heavily consumed into witchcraft, sorcery, and stuff like this.
Come on, is there anybody here in this room with us? Was it John Davis, you said, was you picking him up? You're right.
Yeah, he's close by.
Is he?
Is he? You're not coming in. You're not coming in. You're not invited. Do something else. Do something else. Sam.
Derek, are you all right?
You're right.
Call! Call!
You're right.
Call!
Derek?
It's all right.
Call!
Derek, I'm here.
Call!
I'm here. Derek, it's cold. Sit down, you're doing fine. Just sit straight down.
Can't watch the road. Watch the road.
Sit down, I'm here. Derek, come forward. Derek, come forward. Derek, come forward. Come forward. It's all right, come forward. Come forward. Come forward.
Do you want me to take the camera?
Come forward. Derek, come forward. Come on, buddy. You there?
I'll get your little bit. I'll get your little bit. Get it out of here. What are you doing?
Derek.
Yeah, I'll
Derek, come forward. Derek, come forward. No, you're not going anywhere. Derek, you're not going anywhere. Derek, come forward. Derek, come forward. Derek, come forward. Come forward. I'm here, Derek. Come forward. Get me out, I'm coming, Derek. Come forward. Let's get him out of here. We need to get him out. Ross, can you come forward? Yeah. Derek. Derek, come on, Derek. You're tangled.
Get him out, Carl. Get him out.
Come on, Derek, come forward. Derek, now come forward. Take his arm, take his arm. Right, chill out, Derek. Come forward, Derek. Come forward, Derek.
He's cut my arm off.
He's
cut my arm off.
Derek.
He's cut my arm off. Oh.
Derek, you're
just one person, just one person.
You're fine, Derek. Derek, you're fine now. You're cool now, Derek. I'm here, Derek. Derek, I'm here. Just calm down. It's fine.
Oh, for God's sake, the batteries have gone
It's fine,
again.
Derek.
Thank
Derek,
God.
It's fine.
Oh.
You're right.
Derek. It's fine, Derek. It's fine. We're here.
All right.
We're back.
Oh.
We're back. We're cool.
Thanks.
We're back.
Thank you. Thanks.
Right.
The batteries are gone. Okay.
Thanks, Carly.
I think we should hang back to the hub.
Yeah.
David, can you hear me?
God.
Yes, Yvette, I can.
Yeah, we'll just get them out. Okay, you need to get them out of this room.
What happened to Derek?
It's so cold in here, it's freezing.
Yvette?
Yes.
What happened to Derek?
What's happened to Derek is this is something that is happening quite a lot. I'm just sorry. Has my microphone gone down as well? The torches. Everything, we're losing power and everything. The microphones are playing up as well. What's happening is this has happened an awful lot just recently when we've been filming for the new series. An entity supposedly has entered Derek's aura and taken over his mind, and basically he's sort of been overcome by this spirit's energy. It sounds to me like it's not the particularly nice energy that he picked up of, was it John Davis? John Davis. It's just not nice to experience for Derek nor anybody, members of the crew, especially if you've not seen it before. It can be quite upsetting.
Is he okay?
He needs to be taken out of the room, which is what we normally do, and then he should feel fine in a bit. He will be all right.
Amazing stuff. Thank you for the moment, Yvette. Also, that rather chilling call from a viewer who said that the team should leave immediately and was very forthright about that. So very, very chilling. Matthew, what do you make of what you've seen?
I don't know what to make of it really. And with Derek, either he's obviously he seems to be very distressed about something. Whether or not he's actually being taken over by some other personality, it's just, you just can't really assess that. I mean, obviously that might be his interpretation of it. Obviously very distressing, distressing for the rest of the crew. But again, I wouldn't fancy spending the night there.
Sounds like a challenge, doesn't
No,
it?
it's not a challenge. It's definitely not a challenge.
But Matthew, you and I have known Derek Akora for some 14 months, no, more than that, nearly a year and a half. And you and I both know what he's like as a person. Are you really saying that you know, he's doing his best RADA impression?
No, I'm saying I honestly don't know. I don't have enough information to know what he's doing there. I guess what I'm trying to do here, and what I've done with the previous live shows when similar things have happened, is that, you know, there are various interpretations of what he could be doing, what could be happening there. One, he's actually experiencing what he says he's experiencing, and what he appears to be experiencing, that he is being somehow taken over by a spirit. That's one interpretation.
Does it convince you?
Well, another interpretation is that maybe he is just getting very much involved in the moment, and he's finding that very emotional. Another interpretation is he's putting it on. These are all different interpretations.
Who was that? Right. Come on. Who was that? Right. What do you think about what Matthew Smith is saying?
I can't repeat in television. No, I don't think...
Keep it clean.
Derek didn't put that on. I think it was very emotional what he went through. You know, nobody can act that good. Whoever, you know, they act well in the Oscars in America, and then none of them could do that acting that Derek did. It was very emotional, actually, for a lot of people to watch, you know.
Well, I found it quite distressing to watch.
Well, it wasn't very nice to watch, you know, what he was going through, and I think you'll rather take him there and spend the night with him.
Okay. Yeah. What I want to know, put your hands up if what's your name, sorry?
Ewan.
Ewan.
Welsh.
I know it's Welsh. I know it's Welsh. Very good. He'll be going in the full staff too. Right, now, put your hands up if you believe that what you saw with Derek was real and that he did have some form of involvement with spirit. Okay, there's a lot of you. Right, now, put your hands up if you believe that he's making the whole thing up. Not one. What would you say to Matthew Smith?
What would I say to Matthew Smith? Join Derek there. Challenge.
Sorry?
I'll come with him if it comes to the point.
But what do you...
Well, that's a challenge. What, to come to the point? But, I mean, you noticed there when you said, hands do we think he's making up? I didn't put my hand up. I don't think it'd be fair to say, I think he's making it up. I think he appears to be very distressed. Yes. I also don't find it particularly strong argument to say, I don't think he's acting because nobody could act that. I don't find it that, you know, I'm sure it's quite possible to act.
So you're saying
that doesn't necessarily mean...
So you are actually nailing your colours to the mask and saying, actually what happened was real?
No, I'm not saying that either. I'm saying these are all different interpretations of it, and we actually haven't got enough information to come to that conclusion. What I wanted to try and do for the viewers of this show, really, is say these are different interpretations, and what the kind of conclusion to suggest is actually being taken over by some spirit is just one interpretation.
Matthew, have you thought of a career change to being a politician? Hello, good evening and welcome to this, the final instalment of Most Haunted Live's special at Leap Day. It's a cause for celebration. Listen to the cars hooting. And we will be looking for love because it is a Leap Day, and that means that women can propose to men. So we are looking for love, and where better than in Shakespeare's Stratford-upon-Avon. We'll be hunting for the ghosts of Stratford-upon-Avon. We'll also be looking for the women who inspired Shakespeare's most famous writings. And I am joined, as usual, by the Most Haunted Live audience. Good evening to you all. We also have a host of people. We've got a host of people for you to meet tonight. And, of course, our usual bunch of experts are here as well. Matthew Smith, good evening to you. Parasite
Good evening.
From Liverpool. You had a bit of a grilling last night, if I may say.
Yeah, I think tonight's audience looks much friendlier, so I think I'll be okay tonight.
I wouldn't bank
I hope
on
so
it.
anyway.
I wouldn't bank on it, Matthew. Are you looking forward to tonight?
I am looking forward to tonight, yeah. Last night, lots of unusual things were happening. Again, you know I'm not like to necessarily think they're paranormal. Lots of strange things, perhaps even worthy of further investigation.
Also, the chaps in History HQ, of course, Richard Jones and Richard Felix. Good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Last night, just tell us what it was like for you.
Fascinating, absolutely marvellous. And it was so good last night, but it's going to be so much better tonight. I'm convinced.
And what about you, Richard?
Very interesting last night, and here's hoping tonight we maybe get a little bit closer to Shakespeare in love.
I was going to mention that because Shakespeare didn't actually really turn up very much last night, did he?
He was conspicuous by his absence.
And you think tonight will be better in that respect?
Hopefully.
OK, thank you very much. Let's have a look at the geography of Stratford-upon-Avon and where we're going tonight. OK, Stratford-upon-Avon. Right tonight, we are going to start at the Holy Trinity Church. There it is. That's where Shakespeare is actually buried. Hallscroft, which was owned by Dr. John Hall and his wife, who was Shakespeare's daughter. Shottery Manor, which is now a girls' school. Then we'll be going north to Clopton House and Clopton Well, which is a site of enormous paranormal activity. And then the Town Hall, which is where the Interactive Hub, and of course the Most Haunted Live audience are. Now, as I said, Yvette, Derek and the rest of the team are already in Stratford-upon-Avon. Let's have a look where they are. Good evening to you.
Coming to Yvette now.
Hi, we're standing outside Holy Trinity Church. Hello, David. Hello, everybody in the audience. Well, I tell you what, we're standing outside here. It is freezing cold. And I tell you, here's the Most Haunted crew that we're with. Give us a wave. Everybody wave. There they are. There's the crew. Now, they are going to be spending the rest of the evening with Derek, Phil and myself. Last night, as David said, was incredible. Tonight, we're starting off in Hallscroft, which is our first location, and apparently it's very, very paranormally active. So, David, we really are, aren't we? Looking forward to tonight.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hallscroft is one of the more prominent buildings in the centre of Stratford-upon-Avon. It is also regarded as one of the most haunted. It is here where William Shakespeare's favourite daughter, Susanna, and her husband lived before taking over New Place in 1619. Could the blue ghost be Betty Leggett, who fell to her death on these very stairs? And who is the young child seen skipping through the corridors of Hallscroft? The Most Haunted team investigates.
Right. Now, a lot of activity has taken place here.
Yes.
But I'm just interested to know, can you actually pick up what sort of things may have been experienced here, and most importantly, who or what could be causing them?
Well, right away, just at the foot of these stairs,
Yeah.
I'm very aware, even just at this level here, of two young females, two young girls.
Yeah.
And these two young girls, it's like as if I've got a group of them. There's a lot of them. And it's like as if, the only way I can... And they're in this, like, what's that? It's like a uniform, isn't it?
Who was that?
Right, who?
Was that a crew member? Yeah? Okay, that's...
And there's a lady here. There's a lady who walks here. And she's up and down these stairs at times. And I feel she gets a slight annoyance, Ivy.
Should we go up the stairs?
Yes, please.
Yeah? Okay.
And see if we can retrace her residual energies. Her name's Betty.
Betty.
Betty, as we come closer, up here, Betty's her first name. It's Sam. Go on, Sam, what's that? She stands here. just here.
Is she there? Is she there now?
No, that's where she normally actually
Right.
stands. So we just don't be worried because I feel it will come across. There's a lot of souls here.
Oh, God.
A number of them.
Right.
Go on. Who is it, Sam? Yes. I can hear two women talking now. Two, like whispering. Can we go through here?
Yeah. God, it's massive, this place.
Isn't it?
Look at it.
It's just.
Where does it... Where do you feel drawn? Just straight through?
Just straight through here, yes.
Go on, then.
Okay. It's two voices, two female voices, and they sounds like to me like American.
American voices?
American voices.
Oh, right.
Two women. Go on. Sam, see if you can get me that a little bit clearer. There's all girls playing round here. There's a lot of girls. That's from the residual energy. It's not like it's a school. Like a school. And take that. Betty Leggett. She's the one that's annoyed. Betty Leggett. Betty Leggett. Yeah, she's not happy we're here.
Why?
Betty.
She doesn't want us here.
She said, go on, Sam, repeat it. My sister and I will my sister and I will... It's like, get rid of you. Get out. Get out. Get out. Betty Leggett.
What happened to Betty Leggett?
What happened, Sam? She passed peacefully. She passed peacefully.
What was that?
Did you
What
hear
was
some-
that?
Give me more, Sam.
What was that bang behind you? Did you hear it? Darren? Did you... What? Ross, did you hear it?
That's not ringing through here, is Betty.
That was a thud. Did we all hear that? Yeah. Why am I going first? You
Yeah,
go first.
okay, yes,
I don't want to go first.
Okay. So the other lady comes in here as well.
The other lady?
Yes, there's two of them. There's two of them. Who is it, Sam? Help me with this, please. Okay.
What was that?
Did you see something there?
Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah.
No way. That was
Yes.
a white arc of light.
Yes.
Phil, go and check
It
and
was,
see if there's
yeah.
a window behind that. Go in, on the other side, on the far... Let me get over this
Go on
bit
then.
here. On the far side
Here.
here, is there a window?
No.
On that wall? There was an arc of light, Carl. I don't know if you saw the same thing. It's on camera. That went
Yeah.
across there. Would we have got it on camera?
Because I saw it.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see, David, if you can hear me just for later on, that if somebody... later on we'll try and have a look at it maybe. We're getting colder. Just saying that the temperature is dropping dramatically in this room.
Yeah.
We've just seen a light... it's like a kind of blue, small light. It's what we've all talked about, and it went very quickly. It's like an arc of light, and it went across the top of the ceiling. You didn't see it, did you,
No, I
Phil?
didn't see it.
But quite a few of us did in the crew. Now, during the break, you were picking up some stuff, weren't you?
Yes, yeah. I immediately, when I would come very close to the bed, was aware of a man's energy, and quite a strong-willed man. He must have had something very strong, strong links here, and his energy is still here. But I got this distinct feeling that I was around a person that was medical person, like a doctor, and you know, his presence at times around here is, I feel it's in visitation. He's not grounded.
So he once lived here?
Yes.
Okay.
And he walks this building. There's no two ways about it.
The two women that you were talking about earlier on, they're active here?
Yes.
Are they grounded?
I feel they are.
They are grounded?
Yes, I do.
I asked you earlier on, sorry to ask you this,
Yes.
what sort of activity has been experienced here?
Well, audibles, without a doubt.
Right.
And I feel one of these ladies, come on, Sam, said, Josephine. Josephine? Say it again. Yes. Is she? Thank you. How do I pronounce it that way? Josephine McLeod. McLeod. Come on, say it again. Yes. Now, Sam's saying here that one gets very agitated. Say it again. Yes. Are they close? Are they close, these two women? Yes. Sisters. There's two sisters walk here.
You mentioned an American accent.
Yes, and I feel it's connected with these people, with these two ladies. America, because I could hear two voices when we come through the room. American accents. And these are the... Oh, yes, it's... Who? Is it Josephine or Betty? It's Betty. Betty has 3 or 4 times, and she's not repentant about it, she's not unhappy about what she's done, and just in her sense of humour, the stairwell, she stands at the top there, and anyone that would come past her spirit body, she'd, like this, and she'd push it and feel as if they were getting pushed.
What time period did they put on Josephine McLeod being here?
Oh God, hold on. When, Sam?
That was another knock then. Did you hear that?
18 something. And then he shows me 19.
Right there.
19. 19. What? Is it 21? 19, 31. I'm not sure whether that's 31 he's just given me. But say it again. And John. Thank you.
Gosh, there's a lot, isn't there?
Yeah, okay, come on then.
Let's
Come on,
go walk
let's
round
go.
there.
There's someone called John. There's a man called John who comes here as well.
Do you want to go back? Do you want to go through that? Which way do you want to go? In there?
Can we go through here?
Yeah. We'll back through that way.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I don't like this. Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no.
Come on, Ivy, it's okay. Come on. Okay.
What was that?
Oh, no. It's all right, Ivy. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, no.
Come on, you're all right. It's okay. It's okay. It's a spoon. Now, that was thrown through the air with force.
It's an old spoon.
Did you just see the light flashing?
Yes.
Then? Did you see it?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you see it on camera or anything? Good
Yes.
God!
Yes. That was absolutely, whoa. You know, that bit will come across chest height. Okay? Yeah? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Not warm or anything like that.
No.
Where the hell? I'm sorry for freaking out, but where the hell would this have come
You've got a
from?
mixture of spirit people here. Elizabeth just threw that. Someone called Elizabeth through. Go on. I don't know if she's one of those children.
That's just really freaky. Isn't it freaky?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. What's in it? What's here?
Hang on, just wait. Can we just slow down a minute,
Okay,
please?
sorry.
I'm getting a bit freaked out.
Okay,
here.
all right then. Okay, you'll be all right.
Yeah, but what if something hits us, you know?
No, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. The spoon didn't come towards us. Okay. Probably just wanting to, just playing with us. I feel this woman, Betty, she's also one that would do these. Yeah, that then. Was that one of them? Who was that? One of the crew? No. But that was like a screech, wasn't it? A squeal, a screech.
Did you hear
In
that?
this
I
atmosphere.
heard that. It was a.
Yes. Yeah.
Who's Elizabeth, Derek? Do you know?
Who's Elizabeth, Sam?
Calm down.
Who's Elizabeth?
Should we stand still?
All I got with that was, say it again. She's the daughter of the master. Whatever that means. She's the daughter of the master.
No,
that was outside.
That's outside.
That's outside. It's okay, flash photography there.
God,
God, that spoon. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, Yvette. Well, I just want to ask our historians, first of all. Betty Leggett, Josephine MacLeod. Derek comes up with both those names, says they're sisters.
Correct.
Relevant?
Absolutely. The MacLeods came there in 1913. Mrs. MacLeod's sister was Betty Leggett. Betty Leggett fell down the stairs and died, and she was laid out in the master bedroom where they are for 4 days.
Now, Derek actually said she died peacefully.
She may...
Does that mean, i.e. not in bad circumstances?
I would imagine so, yeah. Although, I mean, I don't know whether she died at the bottom of the stairs, but she was certainly laid out in the bedroom where the spoon's being thrown.
OK, can you add anything, Richard Jones?
He came up with girls playing as well, and for 25 years in the mid-19th century, Hallscroft was used as a girls' school. He came up with the name Elizabeth. Elizabeth Hall was the daughter of John Hall and Susanna Hall, who was Susanna Shakespeare.
But you could also argue this is eminently researchable. But what is more interesting is what happened with that spoon.
Very much so.
That was amazing. Back to the poltergeist activity yet again.
OK.
And the other interesting thing is that he said the MacLeods were American. We've got no mention whatsoever. It would be very nice to find out if they were.
OK, let's see that spoon incident. Let's see it now.
What was that?
Oh, no. Spoon. It's all right, Ivy. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, no.
Come on, you're all right. It's okay. It's okay.
OK, that's what happened.
It's a spoon. Now that was thrown through the air with force.
It's an old spoon.
Did you just see the light?
OK, that's what happened earlier on. Matthew Smith, what do you make of that?
Very striking. I'm probably more impressed by that kind of physical effect than the kind of information Derek's coming out with. Like you say, that's potentially researchable. That's not to say that's what he does. Again, obviously, I'm going to take a little bit of persuading to think it's something paranormal. If we can rule out other normal explanations, it's one of the most fascinating things I think we've come across so far.
OK, well, let's see it again in slow motion, and let's see if we can explain it. There it is. Look, Matthew. There it goes.
The only normal explanation there is that one of the crew's thrown it, so we can rule that out.
Oh, Richard Felix does not believe you.
I knew Matthew would say that. I expected him to say that, but that's what we need to do. We do not do things like that. There is no future in doing things like that. But I must say, one, I'd like to know whether the spoon was hot or not. But number two, I am slightly concerned because of the energy or something, that whether it was stone cold or if it was actually warm, it may have been part of the energy. I am really concerned because I'll tell you, most people don't know this, but on Wednesday night we had some very serious poltergeist activity in Scotland when we were filming Most Haunted. We've had the things thrown last night, and tonight we've had the spoon. Now, I conducted the séance the other night, but there's only one common denominator in all three of these events, and I'm concerned because it's Yvette.
You think Yvette is the cause
I think
of
she
this?
is the agent, and I think, yes, and I'm worried.
Well, OK, let's talk. Yvette, did you hear that?
Oh, don't say that. Hi, yeah.
Richard
can I
Felix.
just firstly say... Oh.
Richard Felix is convinced that that spoon was of paranormal origin, and he's concerned that this has happened on numerous occasions, and he feels that the target and the common denominator every time is yourself.
I don't know. All I know is that it was really, really scary. Sorry. We're all really shaken up here in this house. All I can say is that I'm a bit angry with Matthew, to be honest, because not one member of this crew would do anything like that. We never have done anything like that, and everybody here can vouch for it. So, I mean, we all... I mean, Ross was saying... Come here, Ross. Just you sorry, I'm just so... I can't get over what's
absolutely
happened.
not. I was stood by the fireplace over there, and without a doubt it came from over my shoulder, and there was nobody behind me. It just appeared from absolutely nowhere.
I mean, I'm absolutely gobsmacked. It's come from over here. This is what we've worked out. Because we were all standing in this area. The camera was here, car was here. Further, in fact, over here. It's come... Ross was standing where? Here. Ross felt it came from here, and he... over that way. Now, I don't know where I was standing, but from what I'm hearing in my ear is that it came over my shoulder, and it's just getting a bit worrying because every filming and location we go to, things seem to be trying to hit me. And it's a bit frightening and it's a bit upsetting. So there you go. That's what we think to that. I just want to say before you, I know because we want to show you the replay again, I want to bring in Anne because we've just found out something absolutely fascinating. Anne, Just tell us where this spoon is from. Now, Anne, you're in charge of this place.
I am,
yeah.
yes.
Where does the spoon belong?
This spoon lives in the bedroom next door, and it's tied onto the table.
How can that be? How can that happen?
Well,
Matthew, explain that to me.
Matthew, yes.
Yeah, I have no clear explanation. As I was saying before, I didn't accuse any of the crew that threw it. I said that's the only normal explanation we have left, really, given the trajectory of the spoon, is that one of the crew threw it. If we can really rule that out, I think, I'm happy to say so far, I think one of the best pieces of evidence that we've come across so far on these shows. I'm not necessarily going to say I believe that's paranormal, but it's one of the best pieces of evidence. Clearly we can see that Yvette is very shaken by it. We've got suggestion that the spoon seems to be taken from another room that would normally be tied down. And again, they are the kind of classic and excellent examples of what people call poltergeist activity.
Let's go and join Yvette again.
Creepy?
No, it's
no,
not.
the house is beautiful,
Yes,
but
it's
that
not,
incident is creepy.
Doesn't feel creepy at all.
No, it's a beautiful, beautiful house. Now, let's just get back to this point with the crew. I just want to go around everybody. Phil, tell me, thank you very much, Anne. Phil, tell me exactly what happened.
We came through from that room there, and I was about here, probably just here, and I saw a glimmer as something came across right in front of my face and landed on the floor there.
Okay, now let's not forget what actually brought us into this room in the first place, and Darren, our sound man, can sort of verify this, is we all heard a big bang, didn't we, Darren? Yeah, that's absolutely definite. So, okay, tell me what you experienced, tell me what you saw.
Just saw a flash of light, and then I saw this spoon land on the floor.
Right.
Didn't know where it came from, couldn't see what direction.
But you heard the bang before?
I heard the bang before.
Okay, which to me is really strange. Derek, what do you think?
Well, right away, there's no other explanation of what we actually all seen, heard, with both senses. We saw a spoon, possibly chest height, come at speed, bounce, hit the floor a couple of times, a light prior to that, the noise which you've said. This was spiritual, physical phenomena.
Is this negative energy still here?
It's not so much negative, Evie, this one. And I'll make a quote on this because I've back checked with Sam. This came from a man's hand, a spirit man, a man that was used to linking with doctorate, and it's just, throw it to, give us proof that his atmosphere is still around.
Okay.
OK, let's join Yvette at the next location, which is Clopton Well.
Okay. Are you all right?
Yeah.
Okay, you okay?
Yes, okay.
All right.
Yeah. That's just actually come up and hit me across my chest here. And I just feel as great distress, great, even anger. I'm crying, and it makes me feel as if I'm depressed. It makes me feel as if I'm, I want to, what is this, Sam? What is it? A lady's energy. Is that a lady's energy? There's a lady who's angered, was distressed, and she was, oh God.
All right.
What's happening? Okay. Oh, what is that? It's the water.
You all right?
Yeah, fine, okay. What's happening with me? What's happening, Sam? I'm underwater. I'm underwater here.
Just so that, because people at home don't know the history of this place, let's find out what the history of Clopton Well is. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like water all around.
Discovered by archaeologists on a local nature reserve in 2002, Clopton Well can be found just half a mile from the main house. It is here that Margaret Clopton, abandoned by her lover, ventured out into the night and drowned herself in the family well, only to be found the next morning, her hair floating in the petal-scattered water. It is thought that her story inspired the character of Hamlet's Ophelia, but is she the ghostly figure seen kneeling by the watery hollow?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you think?
I just feel as if I've been taken back through a replayed residual energy of a woman, taking the place of a woman's energies, a very gentle woman, I feel very depressed woman, and a very angered woman, and I just feel as if I'm in the process of drowning, and I seem to be deep, and it's like she's looking up, and then my head was submerged in the water.
Do you know a name for this woman? I know the residual energy yesterday, because we had water, were difficult for you to pick up on. So
yeah, okay. She was a young woman's energies, and angered because she couldn't get what she wanted, and she was at despair, and it's like as if I put my hands up as if I give up, I don't, and it's like as if.
What was it she couldn't get? What was
this feeling, Sam? She lost her love. She lost her love. She'd lost her love. She couldn't have her love. She couldn't have what? Margaret. Right. Margaret, Sam gives me. She hates her dad. She hates her father. She hates her. Oh, why? Why'd she hate her father? Why? Come on. No, you can't. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. But Father, please, you cannot. No, you cannot. Well, Father, I love. You cannot. Go to your room. Go to your room. Father, I love him. I love him, Father. I love him, Father. She gave up. She gave up. She wouldn't eat. She wouldn't eat. Her mind was tormented. Sweet girl.
How old? How old is she?
Oh. I feel she's... Gosh. She's only young. A young woman. A young woman.
Teenager, a bit older?
A bit older, I feel, a bit older.
Yeah.
And she's, she showed me a picture, brushing her hair in the mirror. She's brushing her hair, and she's going down the stairs. She's going down the stairs. She's going down the stairs. She's opened the door. I'm going across the fields. I'm going across the fields. I'm going across the fields. I hope you realise, Father, you've done this to me. You've done this to me. My Father,
Can you tell us,
love you.
Tell us who the father is. You all right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. She's gone down into the water. She's fallen into the water. She's gone. She's in the water. She can't get out of the water. She can't get out of the water. She's drowning. She's drowning. Bless. She's shouting for her mother. She's shouting for her mother. She's shouting for her mother.
Who's the name of the mother, Derek? Can you hear her shouting her name?
She keeps on shouting, mother, 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 mother. She's gone under, she's drowned. Oh, bless.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yes. Okay.
How long ago? When did it happen? How long ago?
I don't know. She's come up. She's come up. Charlotte. She said, Charlotte. 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 She's under again. Oh. Oh. She's gone. She's gone. Bless. She's gone.
She died here. Where?
She's in the water.
She died in the water. Careful, careful.
Down here. She's down. Oh, bless. She's gone down there. Oh. Oh. She's shown. Oh,
Does she still haunt here? Does she still walk here, Derek?
She does, but she's what sound? What sound? She's what? She's in the house.
She's in the house?
She's in the house.
Okay, well what we're going to do is we're going to make our way over to the house.
She's in the house.
You've given us a few names there. David has given us a few names. Derek's feeling a bit dizzy. We're going to make our way over to the house and try and conclude what happened to this young lady. Okay.
Okay.
We'll make our way over to the house now. You all right, Derek?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah?
I'm okay.
Richard,
Okay.
Felix,
Yeah.
Margaret and Charlotte.
Both died. Margaret drowned in the well. She was jilted by a lover. Charlotte, of course, was died being buried alive.
These are all sisters.
They were sisters, weren't they?
Yeah, both sisters.
Yeah.
Margaret died in 1588. She wanted to marry, her father forbade her to marry because the man was below her station, and so she went out and she drowned herself in the well. It's believed actually that it was that tragedy that gave Shakespeare the idea for Ophelia's fate in Hamlet.
Because Ophelia's fate was very, very similar, wasn't
Very
it?
similar, drowned.
Because she drowned, but there were petals in her hair.
Yeah.
And I believe that that was the same with that sister as well, that she was found with petals floating in the water.
Yeah.
How much truth do you think there is in this, or do you think it's folklore?
It's certainly a very important part of local folklore. The interesting one is the name Charlotte that he came up with, because Charlotte was actually, she died in the plague. We don't know the exact year, but probably around about 1564, interestingly Shakespeare's birth date. She was actually buried, and then her mother died sometime after, and when they went to inter her mother, they found that she hadn't been dead. She'd actually come round in the tomb, and it was actually that Shakespeare may well have based the idea of Juliet coming round in the Capulet vault in Romeo and Juliet.
So Shakespeare may well have drawn influence from things that he knew in his life.
He most certainly would. He would have drawn on his childhood, his mother, local housewives. It was certainly talked about a lot throughout his childhood, the story of Charlotte Clopton.
Now, yesterday you were telling me that Shakespeare was actually obsessed by dominant women. Why was that?
Simply because they made interesting characters, and you have to remember that at his time, England was ruled by a woman. Elizabeth was a very, very powerful queen. She had to be. She was able to keep the country balanced, and she was very wily as well. She was very able to play people off. So she wouldn't marry, she wouldn't beget an heir, and so she needed people like Shakespeare, the poets, to come out and actually push her cause, push her history, the fact she was the rightful Queen of England. And so Shakespeare has all these dominant women, but of course he's performing for a woman as well. Don't forget he would have performed at court and would have performed before Elizabeth I.
Thank you very much. Matthew, you know, we've done a lot of these programmes, and I think the same thing comes out time and time again. With Derek, you either think he's brilliant, or you think, you know, he's making the whole thing up. He came out with two names there, which the two Richards have told us make sense, stack up historically. Where do you sit with that?
Well, I think on occasions when he does come up with names which do match with a historic fact, again, I think you're left essentially with two possible explanations. You either go with the possible paranormal explanation, that he really is communicating with spirits as he believes he is doing, or I think the only other real explanation is that he is doing some kind of prior research and just dressing it up as though, you know, let's make it dramatic, let's make it look good. And I just think it's very difficult to actually tease those two things apart. And it probably comes down to whether or not you think it's possible. If you think it's possible that you can communicate with spirits, then you might go that way. If you think it's more plausible that he could have done research, then you might take that as a possible, more likely explanation.
Have you ever sat down with Derek and asked him point blank whether he makes it up?
I don't think I've asked him point blank, but he will tell me quite, you know, he will say you know, this is what I do, I'm not making it up. But then again, that doesn't necessarily be taken as evidence to support that he's not making it up. I mean, there I don't think he's making it up if it's not a paranormal explanation. The only normal explanation would be, well, he knows that. He probably knows the history of the facts that he was coming out with aren't that well hidden. So you can't really take it as strong evidence that he's actually doing as he believes he would be doing.
Well, we've made it. We're here in Clopton House, which apparently is very, very active. And we're here with two of the owners. We have Nicola and Stella. Now, Stella, if you'd just like to start off by telling us what sort of things have been happening here?
Well, a lot of people feel that there is a lot of activity. Nicola certainly senses quite a lot. I wish I could say I did, but I don't.
Okay, Nicola, what sort of things have you experienced?
I have been woken in the middle of the night by a woman blowing down the back of my neck.
Oh, God.
Yeah, horrible. I don't know why I know it's a woman, but I just know it's a woman. She blew down my neck for about 5 hours. Horrible. I've never been so much scared in my life. I just let her sleep. I didn't sleep, and I've never slept in that room ever again, and it's in the room over there. That
what about in this particular room?
Fine. If I ever
Absolutely
stay,
fine.
you know, if I'm staying again, I will stay in here.
It's interesting to see what, we're going to pick up with maybe residual energy, things that have happened maybe in the past. Thank you very much. And you never know. So if you'd like to make your way out, and then what we'll do is we'll bring Derek and Phil in straight away, because I'm very interested. This place has an incredible history. They are apartments now, but things have been happening on a regular basis. This room at the moment feels absolutely fine. It's a lovely, lovely home, not a problem. I could quite happily, and I wish I could, sit down and have a nice glass of wine. That's how it makes you feel. But, Derek, come on in. Is anything coming to your mind straight away as you walk into this one room here?
Well, I feel at times, apart from the lovely people who are here, as if I've got mixed energies coming in. Spirit people, looking at them and watching them whilst they're sitting round and talking and what have you. And it seems to be an abundance of, don't know how I can describe it. It's like more, oh, my ears are going, more feminine. I seem to get feminine energies here, more than masculine.
You said earlier on that the lady in the well, that drowned in the well, was in the house.
Yes.
Would she be in this room? Would she visit this room?
I feel she'd be higher, actually.
Right.
I really do.
Okay.
Rather than on the ground here.
Right.
But, because my thoughts go that way, but I want to say, this is going to sound absolutely crazy. This is a beautiful room, isn't it, and what have you. I'm getting a stench here of, don't know how I can put it. And I had this earlier on the investigation, fragrance of like rotten skin. And I know it sounds terrible, I know, but again, I feel as if there's suffering is taking place here.
In this particular room?
In this
house?
And it's still in the atmosphere, in the ether, and residually it's here. It'll never be shifted. And I feel great illness and people, especially one, is it two? I feel around this property here, there are ladies that are actually active at times. Okay. And there's more than one. There's more than one.
There's a lot of suffering with the women.
A lot of suffering with the women.
Are they active in here? Does anything happen in here?
I feel that they do. I don't know how many. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of them.
You mentioned...
There's 4 of them.
4. 4
ladies, spirit ladies that come here and...
are they here now?
I feel their energies are intermingled here, yes.
You mentioned the Charlotte outside.
Yes.
Near the well.
Yes.
When you were with Margaret, as it were.
Yeah.
Is she here? Does she come to
Charlotte does come here. Charlotte does come here. And Margaret. And Margaret. And they seem to walk around this property, and
are they connected? Connected, these women?
Are these connected, Sam? Yes, they are.
Are they related?
Are they related? Yes, they are.
Okay. What happened to them? You said there was great suffering. Did they die naturally?
What was it, Sam? Is that to do with the fragrance I'm getting? Great illness. 2 ladies. The mother, so sad of her daughter, so sad of her daughter. Oh, my daughter. Why did she perish before me? I'm her mother. Why did she perish before me, Richard? Why did she perish before me, Richard? Oh, Richard. Oh, Richard.
is Richard?
The father. The father.
Is this Charlotte who you're picking up on?
Yes, yes. Oh, she's lovely. Oh, she...
So Charlotte's mother perished before Charlotte.
When did... Who perished? Sam? No, her daughter, Charlotte, had to leave, and her mother joined her. Her mother joined her very quickly. Charlotte was in agony. Charlotte in agony. Let me out.
What happened to her, Derek?
Let me out.
What happened to Charlotte?
I'm in the dark. Let me out. Let me out. I'm in the dark. Mother.
Whereabouts are you in the dark?
They won't let me out. Mother! They won't let me out. Let me out! Let me out! Let me out! Let me out!
All right. Derek, can you hear me? Derek? Derek? Derek, can you hear me?
Let me out.
Derek, can you hear me?
Let me out. Let me out.
Derek,
Let me out.
Derek, Derek, can you hear me? Derek, Derek, come on. Derek, can you hear me? Come here. Derek. 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 Derek.
Alice.
Alice.
Alice. Alice. Charlotte. Alice.
Right, Derek.
Alice.
Derek. Derek, come forward.
Alice.
Come forward. Derek, come forward. Derek,
Alice.
look at that. Come forward. Come on, come forward. Come on.
Sitting down.
Sit down.
Derek,
Sit
just
down.
back of it. There you go.
All right. Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
You all right? Yeah?
Oh, I was in the walls all around her, and it's all shut, and she couldn't get out. She couldn't get out.
Who put her in there?
Who put her in, Sam? They thought she was, they thought she died, and she hadn't. She hadn't.
Was that in this house?
Yes, yes, yes. They took her out. They took her out. They wrapped her up. They took her away from here, and they put her in there, and they closed it. They closed it.
Closed what? What did they close?
It's like it's all covered up. It's like a tomb. It's
Right,
I'm behind.
Calm. Shh, calm. Take deep breaths. Come on. Deep breaths.
Hands.
All right. What are you seeing with your hands? What are you seeing with your hands?
Oh.
Hmm? Tell me what you're seeing. Speak to me. What you're seeing.
Oh, my fingers and nails are all this. I'm cut. I'm skin.
Derek, can you tell us how she died? What she died from?
The plague.
Plague.
The plague.
What time is this? What date? What year? Give us a date, Derek, if you can.
Oh.
Give us a date. When did this happen?
Oh.
When did she die?
When, Sam? When? 15.
15. 15, yeah. 40. 15, 40. 1546? Yeah? Is that what's coming to mind? Yes. 1546. This is when she died. Yeah? Yes. Okay. I want you to come forward now, Derek. I want you to come forward. All right? All right? Okay. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go in here?
Yes, please.
Yeah?
Let's go in there, okay? Oh, yes. Oh, there's congregation here.
There's what?
Congregation.
What, lots?
Yes. And, you know,
Come with me.
there's there's 4 ladies that come here. There's 4 ladies.
4.
4.
Are they the same ladies that were downstairs?
Yes.
They are.
Yes. The family. They're the family. Alice. She didn't want to be taken on a horse. He rode off with her. And they were all screaming and shouting. And he followed. All the horses were going after them.
Do you know where they took her?
He's took her to the. He's taken her to the water. He's taken her to the water. He's panicking. What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? He's thrown her. He's thrown her over. He's thrown her over the bridge. He's thrown her over into the water. She can't.
Yeah.
She's in the water. She's screaming. She's screaming.
What's she screaming? Tell me what she's screaming.
She's screaming for. She screamed for her mother. She was screaming for her mother.
Who was this man that did this?
A despicable soul.
Give me a name.
The man who loved her is crying, he's sobbing, he's going after. He's going after. He can't believe this, he can't believe it.
Can you give me a name, Derek?
I'll try,
I'll try.
They've got to her in the water. They've jumped into the water. He's holding on.
Why did they throw her in the water? Why did this man throw her in the water?
Because he was gutless. He was gutless.
Who was he?
He loved her, but he knew he couldn't have her. He loved her, poor girl. But she didn't love him. She didn't love him. What did he do, Sam? He's abducted her against her will. And he's thrown her in the water. They've got her out the water now.
Can you give us a name, Derek? Please try.
I will.
You all right, Derek?
Yes.
You okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
You all right?
I'm
Okay?
all right, okay.
You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Try and pull yourself out of that now, okay? You talked about 4 women in this room now, okay?
Yes.
At the moment, this is all we're feeling, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what I think we should do, okay, is head on back.
Okay.
And I think we should go back to the hub and get ready because I think we're going to do a séance.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Me and you and some members of the audience.
Right.
Are you feeling all right now?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm
will you
all
feel
right.
better once we're out of the house?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, you don't like it here at all?
Well, it's just distress because of all the pain here.
Yeah.
Of what's happened.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll head on back to the hub.
Well, welcome back to the final part of Most Haunted Live at Leap Day. Of course, the conclusion of 2 days of experimentation and investigation for the ghosts of Stratford upon Avon and the women, of course, who inspired Shakespeare's works. Now, over the last 2 nights, we've sent Yvette, Derek, Phil and the rest of the team around Stratford. They've been amazing, I think you'll agree. They've been very cold. We've seen some amazing results. But now it is time to welcome them back. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Derek Akora and Yvette Fielding. Oh, you're coming up here. Hello. Well done, fantastic. Great to see you. Great to see you. Have a seat, have a seat.
Oh, yeah.
Right, everyone wants to know, what was going on with that spoon?
No idea. I'm going to take this out because I can't hear. Absolutely no idea whatsoever. It has to be close to one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever had.
You look terrible.
It was. The thing that I wanted to get across is that it was tied down in a different room. Now, I cannot understand why that's happened. A crew member would never, ever do that. We've been working on this show
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Love to. OK, have a look at this. Let's see it. OK, you will be able to see as we just play this through. OK, that's the end of it. OK, let's bring it back. There it is. OK, here we go.
Whoa.
You can see it's shot from the bottom of the screen, look, and it literally goes over your right shoulder there.
Oh, my God.
And then let's just see that again. There we go, from the bottom of the screen. I mean, it is quite phenomenal. And we've had lots of people calling in saying there is no way that anyone could throw a spoon like that. Derek, what do you make of that, seeing that image?
It was absolutely astonishing, even for me, to see a missile go at the speed, the depth. I saw it very clearly, like every single member of the crew go over Ivy's shoulder. But just prior to it, Ivy, is this right? We saw a shade of light.
We did, and we heard a bang as well, which goes into
that was
that
just before.
room. And we also heard what the crew described as a woman's cry,
Yeah.
or you know, a laugh, as Ross described it. But what I was trying to say is, we would never ever do anything like that. Not only that, the end of the spoon was very, very sharp, so we would never endanger the crew by throwing a sharp implement or throwing anything at all.
Do you know what really shocked me tonight was when you said you were upset with Matthew?
I was, and I know,
Angry, sorry,
I'm
angry.
sorry. I know that you got your job to do, and I totally, totally respect that. But one thing we have to be sure, when we first started Most Haunted, we promised everybody that nothing is faked on this programme, and it's absolutely true.
And a point made by Richard, actually, earlier.
It is, it's absolutely right. Everything you see, and that's why some people say, oh, you know, oh, why can't we get this, that and the other? I think if nothing happens, nothing happens. If something happens, you know, you have to investigate it. And I honestly believe that if we did get a full ghost manifestation on camera, people go, well, I'm not sure about that. So you think, well, you can't win. You can't
and
win.
in fact, you know, people came, and we know that people came here last night and said, oh, some shows are better than others. And of course the response is, well, we don't know what's going to happen.
We have no idea, but I have to say that, I don't know how everybody else feels, but for the first time on Most Haunted Live, that has to be, for me, the most unexplained you know, activity. And I think that's why everybody, even yourself, Matthew, was kind of quite confused as to what went on. It was terrifying. It really was frightening.
So you were obviously distressed by it.
Yeah.
I fully agree. I mean, in terms of the probably best single piece of evidence produced from probably any of these shows, that's probably that footage.
Yeah.
There's still always going to be problems with it, because again, you're always going to be faced with, as we often find, a lot of this research in any area is it can come down to essentially either it's real, or to me the most likely alternative explanation is that it's somebody's thrown it. But given that, you know, the testimony is quite strong that nobody would do that, there's an agreement that nobody would do that, and I believe that, I know the crew, I know they are authentic, genuine, you're left with a very puzzling piece of evidence.
Well, can I just ask, if you were actually in that room and you saw, you know, Carl's hands, he's got both hands on the camera, everybody's doing their own thing, and you were there and you saw, like Ross did, what appeared to be coming out of over his right shoulder, and that was you, and you couldn't explain it, what would you say? Yeah, what would you say? How would you explain that yourself?
Well, I'd have a hard time explaining it. But again, it's interesting there in terms of the testimony, is that from the clip, it looks like it's coming up down and over your shoulder, and there's Ross saying it comes over his shoulder, so already we've got some
disagreement. I know you're going to not agree at all. Let's go. Well, the response from the audience at home has been phenomenal. Let's go and find out from Julian what's been going on. Julian?
Well, another extraordinary night tonight, David. Just the statistics on the number of texts and calls and so on. 15,000 calls over the last couple of nights, which is quite amazing. Texts, double the number of texts that we had last night. 8,000 texts tonight. We had 4,000 last night. And 10,000 sightings on the website. A couple of comments. The spoon thing has really got the phones rocking tonight. One of the best shows yet, says Neil and Claire in Preston in Lancashire. People want proof and a sign that spoon incident was definitely it. Also, Andrew Lang from Western-super-Mare says, I trust the team 100% after seeing the spoon fly, made my beliefs even stronger than ever. And the seance has also got people going, lots of people ringing on that. Kieran Butler from Bristol reports that as the lady got touched on the shoulder, he felt a blowing on the back of his neck and he felt really cold and very sad.
Thank you, Julian.
And it goes on.
Thank you, amazing response. Thank you very much. And I have to say, you know, I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 2 nights. I didn't enjoy you looking upset, Derek. I didn't enjoy the fact that you were upset tonight.
I felt a bit of a wally as well, but
I think everyone deserves a very big round of applause. Thank you to Richard Jones, Richard Felix in History Corner, Phil Wyman, Yvette Fielding, Derek Akora, and of course Matthew Smith. It's been an amazing experience, hasn't it? It has been incredible. I just want to remind you, I want to remind you of what's gone on. You know, the fact in night one that you experienced what you believe poltergeist activity, that you felt those spirits of John Davis, the spoon tonight, and of course you, Derek, have come out with the names every time tonight, particularly tonight, which I just think has been absolutely brilliant. Let me ask you a one-word answer. Do you make it up?
No, I don't. I link with spirit. Spirit link with me, and I love it.
Matthew Smith, he doesn't make it up. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the audience here. And thank you to you at home. Without you, we couldn't have done this. It's truly, truly interactive. We love the fact that you respond quite so well. And now, from all of us, I think we should all say goodnight to everyone at home. It's been brilliant. Say goodbye. We'll be back very soon. Goodbye. We'll see you very shortly on Living TV. Good night.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Betty Leggett.
What happened to Betty Leggett?
What was that?
Did you see something there?
Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah.
No way! That was
Yes.
a white arc of light.
Yes.
Phil, go and check and see if there's a window behind that. What I've just seen is amazing. What was that? Oh, no,
Stone. It's all right, Vivi. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh,
okay. Come on. You're all right. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's a spoon.
Betty Leggett fell down the stairs and died, and she was laid out in the master bedroom where they are for 4 days.
I don't know. All I know is that it was really, really scary. Sorry. We're all really shaken up here in this house. This spoon lives in the bedroom next door, and it's tied onto the table. How can that be? How can that happen?
The moment we start to throw things and do things like that, we're going to lose all credibility. We don't do it.
No. No, 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 you can't. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. But Father, please, you cannot. No, you cannot. She's gone. She's in the water. She can't get out of the water. She can't get out of the water. She's drowning. Oh, my daughter. Why did she perish before me? I'm her mother. Let me out! Let me out! Let me out! Let me out!
All right.
They thought she died, and she hadn't. She hadn't.
Was that in this house?
Yes. Yes. Yes.